longtime party leader Vin Weber. Kemp forged links with policy thinkers in Washington and New York, including Irving Kristol and Mundell, and Robert Bartley, editorial page editor of the Wall Street Journal. Kemp's office and living room became scenes resembling graduate seminars where the Washington-New York nexus came together for debate, but with major policy change as its aim. That aim was achieved. Kemp-Roth became official party policy in 1978. Even GOP graybeards, who had previously scorned him, signed on. Then he recruited Ronald Reagan, who made Kemp's proposal a centerpiece of his 1980 presidential campaign and once elected the basis of Reaganomics. The Reagan tax cuts of 1981 and 1986, reducing the top rate from 70% to 50% and then 28%, set off an economic boom that lasted into the 2000s. The achievements of the 1980s were mainly Reagan's, but their economic underpinning was Kemp's. No Republican politician of the 20th century who was not president transformed the country the way he did. Not Henry Cabot Lodge, Robert Taft, or Nelson Rockefeller. Earl Warren did, but as Chief Justice, not as Governor of California. Nor did any Democrats except possibly Hubert Humphrey, the leading early advocate for civil rights, and Edward Kennedy, author or bipartisan co-author of dozens of health, education, and civil rights laws. Our second reason for writing about Kemp is that he embodied a spirit sorely missing in today's politics in both parties. Kemp was positive, optimistic, idealistic, energetic, growth and opportunity-oriented. He was incapable of personal attack and negative campaigning, even when it cost him. The purpose of politics, he said, is not to defeat your opponent as much as it is to provide superior leadership and better ideas than the opposition. He criticized liberals and Democrats, but also green eyeshade, austerity-minded, Herbert Hoover Republicans. His criticisms were always based on their ideas and policy proposals, never their motives or personal flaws. He believed, as he said again and again, that ideas change history. He wanted to change history for the better. He wanted his own party to once again be the party of Abraham Lincoln. Even before very conservative audiences, he argued that the GOP should again become the natural home of African Americans, as it had been from Lincoln's time to Franklin Roosevelt's. He insisted it could happen if Republican policies brought growth and prosperity to inner cities. It was unrealistic, probably romantic, but it was sincere. It was famously said of him that as a pro football star, he had showered with more African Americans than most Republicans had ever met. He lamented that his party had been largely absent from the civil rights movement and regarded the Southern strategy to win white votes at the expense of blacks a disgrace. Kemp believed in what he called the American idea, that the Declaration of Independence was a universal document, that everyone everywhere deserved the right to advance as far as his or her talent and effort would lead. The American idea was Kemp's version of Lincoln's bedrock principle that the right to rise was the central idea of the United States and applied to black slaves as well as to white workers. And like Lincoln, he believed it was the job of government to enable people to achieve their aims and remove obstacles, especially, in Kemp's view, high taxes. We hope this book will inspire, or embarrass, present-day politicians to see there is a better way to conduct their business. To fight, yes, but over ideas for making America better, and to search for common ground to solve America's problems and secure a future for every citizen. Our third reason for writing this book is simply that Jack Kemp led a fascinating, inspiring life. His father, Paul, was his model of entrepreneurial capitalism. His well-educated mother, Frances, was his cultural and intellectual spur. They both were Christian Scientists, which produced in Kemp a lifelong optimism, a faith that thinking positively can change the future, that failure is never final, that when one door closes, another opens. Kemp grew up a sports fanatic, deciding at age 5 that he wanted to be a professional quarterback. By will and determination, he overcame repeated obstacles and became one, a star quarterback, first for the San Diego Chargers, then the Buffalo Bills. He remained a quarterback in mentality all his life. He was a